Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slimy Sundays. Today, I'm joined with the lovely Katie from Moon Cotton, and unfortunately, Erin, she had a little emergency, so she isn't able to make it, but she might be able to join in on the end of the live show. We'll see, but I will let Katie introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. This is Moon Cotton. I'm not very articulate at introducing myself. I can't even speak. Can't even speak proper English. I am really excited to be here. This is going to be fun. We have a lot of really exciting things to talk about, like creativity. I think, not to pat myself on the back, but I definitely think I have like a reputation for making bizarre or creative slime. So I can give a lot of insight to where that's come from, what I'm doing now with slime, because I know a lot of you have some questions, and yeah, let's get started.
Perfect. Yes, we're talking about how to make creative and unique slimes, as well as really pushing your creative limits and how Katie does it, because she is so awesome, guys. I love her Instagram account. I'm sure you all know it. And I'm just going to say hello to everybody in the chat. My life as a random YouTuber, Slimeopolis, Zach, Erin, thank you so much for joining. If you want to, just type your question in the chat and we will get to as many as we can. So we're just going to jump into the first topic, which is all about Katie's slime journey. Because, guys, it is crazy. I've been following along with her from the beginning. We have talked for so long, and we've DM'd. We've known each other for forever. So it's so exciting to actually be talking to her for, like, first time with you guys. So let's ask Katie some questions. So what did you do before slime, and how has that kind of helped you in the slime community and creating your account and shop and, yeah.
Well, before I started my slime account, I was in college. I went to school for fine art, so I have an art background, and I think having an art background definitely spilled into my account like 1000%. I started my account, truth be told, I saw that there was a business opportunity. I loved it as an artist. I loved slime as a person, but I also saw a business opportunity. So from day one, I was like, you know what, this could be like a thing. Maybe I'll make $100 a month. Like I had no expectations. I just thought like, you know what, this is like making stuff for Etsy. Like, let's just do it. And then it blew up.
Yes, it definitely has. And I think your creativity is something that really has made you stand out in the slime community, because your account, it's like a art slime account, if that makes any sense. That's like totally Katie's account. So a lot of people were asking, what is your filming setup, Katie? We really want to know. Everybody is so curious because you make such satisfying, high quality videos with amazing sound. So how do you do it?
So when I first started my account, which was in 2007, like early 2017, I don't think that there was anybody, to my knowledge, who was using a quote unquote real camera. So I was like, hey, this is an opportunity just to like take a real like DSLR camera and put it on a tripod and just make videos, which is what I did. That progressed. I started adding softbox lights. I started using a shotgun mic, which is like a very like directional focused microphone. I originally used lav mics, which are some of you guys maybe like if you're listening in, if you've seen microphones like attached to people's like containers or like these little tiny microphones, these are lavalier mics. They're to pick up voices. I found they work okay, but so yeah, the whole setup has progressed. As of right now, I actually have a setup on my kitchen table, which is like on the other side of my laptop here. I'll turn around and show you. This is for making like regular satisfying, which is something I'm doing for my job right now. I'm going to show you my setup.
Guys, this setup is intense. I love it.
So I'm going to hold my laptop here. Hopefully I'm holding it at a good angle. But that is a shotgun mic. These are just some softbox lights. You can get something like this on Amazon. You can see I have a monitor. This right here is a monitor, which allows you to kind of like work and see what you're doing. This is a Sony camera, and that big box right there that is for the sound. That allows you to use a more high-powered microphone, one that can't, it doesn't plug into the camera. It has to run through that box. That's like kind of how it gets power. This really allows you to get a really good sound setup. I also have a second camera there with a macro lens, so you can like intercut macro with, you know, like regular footage. And that is kind of like a super, I want to say it's like a super basic setup. It's super basic in the realm of like professional video making. Is really intense if you're just like using an iPhone right now to make videos, but the idea is the same. You have a microphone, you have a camera, or 2 cameras, and lights. Lights are super important. And yeah, that's my setup.
Yes, that is crazy intense. I love it. It's intense for us Slimers who have been using their iPhone, like me, since 2016. And I'm trying to upgrade different things. And if anybody else is thinking about upgrading, I definitely think the first thing I upgraded were my lights, because lights are just so important. What do you think about that, Katie?
100%. You know what? A lot of people are like, oh, I need to get a camera. I need to get like a DSLR camera. The camera on your iPhone or your Android phone is really, really good. Do not underestimate how powerful the camera is on your phone. What a lot of people actually struggle with is lights. And if you have really good light and you have even bright light, you don't need a crazy camera, because having a good camera is to help out photographers in weird lighting situations. Like most of the time it's about like, you know, what kind of shutter speed do you have, aperture, that's to like help you work properly in like all different like lighting situations. But if you have really bright studio lights and you have a phone camera, you can do a really good job. These lights were like maybe $40 or $50 on Amazon. So kind of like a small investment, and your videos will all start to look even and like cohesive.
Yeah, that is amazing. Thank you for all of those tips, Katie. Yeah, if you are looking to upgrade and anything like that, Katie's setup is amazing. iPhones work really well. So does, I would upgrade my lights. That would be the first thing I would upgrade. And then maybe get a mic if that's something you're interested in. And then from there, as you grow, just gradually get things. I totally don't recommend buying everything at once. If you're just starting out, just get things slowly and do that. So yes, interesting question for you. It's probably going to be difficult to answer, but it's, why do you think you are so successful in the slime community? Because you are.
Yeah, it is difficult for me to answer, because I look at myself now and I'm like, oh, I'm not maybe like super relevant. You know, I'm not Jacob, Slime Obsidian, Marissa, Parakeet Slimes. Like, I'm just thinking of people right now who are very like, their ideas and what they're coming up with and what they're doing is like just moving the community forward in a creative way and also in a social way. And I'm totally like behind the scenes right now. Like, I'm invisible. I don't really post on my account or anything like that as of right now. But I think I got to where I got because I multiple times I tried to like take a step over what like everybody else was doing. So first I started filming with like a real camera when that wasn't really like a common thing. Then I started like when I was selling slime, I made my own website when most people were on Mercury and Etsy. Then I did, you know, I started doing like weird scents, like at a time when most people just did like very safe scents. I did like kind of strange stuff. Now that's like, you know, a lot of people do that and that's great, but I think taking risks and doing something that like maybe seems like you're taking yourself too seriously, or maybe people won't like it, like don't worry about that. If you take yourself too seriously, it's okay. Slime is growing, and in like 6 months, whatever you just did, like you had something custom made with your logo on it and like whatever, like in probably in like 6 months, like everybody's gonna be doing that. Like that's just how it's grown. So being first,
it's just like the cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just like, I think I just got lucky, but I also did things early.
Yes. And I think we have a question. And so in like the current slime landscape, I guess you could say, how do you compete with all of the famous slime accounts? And that's from Waterglass Slimes. He asked that question in the chat.
How do I compete? I'm not trying to compete anymore. I think, but when I was like actively selling, the trick is to just have something that you are known for. It might be that you're known for having really good scents, or known for having really good textures, or you're known for having like really fast shipping. Not me. I have a bad reputation for shipping. But it's just like getting like, having like being known for something that like creates like, ideally like all those things. That's how you can compete with somebody who maybe a big part of their brand is that their personal identity as an influencer. If you aren't an influencer and people don't know who you are, but you just want to like make good slime, just do something different and then like stand out.
Definitely. Totally agree with that. I'll say hello to a couple more people in the chat. Hello, someone's from Poland all the way over there is watching us. That's so awesome.
Wow.
Yes. Hello. Hi, Deb. Hi, Slimeopolis. Hello, Anthony. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We are going to ask the most exciting question to Katie. This is the one everybody has been waiting to hear. I got so many people ask me this. And it's, what are you currently exploring with slime? Everyone's so curious. Where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I did put this in my story, but I will just assume that if you're here, maybe you haven't seen it. The nutshell story, I'll try to keep it like under 3 minutes, is that in November of last year, another account, the username is just the word slime, @slime. Sure, a lot of you guys probably follow her. She has almost 2 million followers. She put something in her story that said, if you're an adult and you live in New York City or like in the area, email these people. They're looking for people who make slime videos. And I mean, I was just like so curious. So I ended up emailing, and November, December, January, February, so literally like a 4-month process turned into this, me like meeting these, the CEO of this media company, and long story short, they wanted to build a brand of satisfying videos, not just slime, but satisfying videos. They already have like a massive audience on Snapchat, massive. Is on Snapchat Discover, which is a publisher channel. And part of building a brand is also having an e-commerce aspect and selling slime. So we will be manufacturing slime. We have a warehouse space now in Brooklyn that we will be making everything in. It will be like, once the brand launches, it's going to be huge. We want to do events. We're connecting with content creators. We're doing branded partnership deals. We want to be in the community. I've been laying low because I have to like build a brand. It's legal stuff. It's design stuff. It's all kinds of stuff that I like can't share with people. But once we're there, it's going to just explode, and it's going to be so much fun.
That is amazing, and it's so cool and so amazing that media is recognizing slime and satisfying videos as a thing, and working with influencers like. And it's just so awesome, and I love this so much. It's so amazing.
I just want to like jump in and say that for all of us out there who are just like, making content on our kitchen table, satisfying videos, you are going to get the recognition. I can't say who, but massive brands are coming and saying, hey, we want content creators that make slime videos, that make sand videos, that make soap cutting videos, make ASMR videos. Like this is like the new genre of content on the internet. It is extremely valuable. If you make content that's satisfying, keep doing it. It's seriously as legitimate of like a genre as making comedy videos or making music videos. It's going to keep growing. So it's really good.
Yes, this is a totally valid hobby to have and a totally valid thing to be posting online. I know a lot of people are really shy about it and, you know, don't own it. And even I myself am guilty of that as well sometimes. And, you know, it's legitimate for me. I have written a whole book about this. I published it in traditional publishing. Like, I didn't self-publish it or anything like that. Like, a traditional publisher said, yes, we want to publish your slime book. So it's a real thing, guys. And, so just keep that in mind. And I see a couple more people in the chat. Hello, Smurfy Slimes, Dr. J's Slime Shop, Nicole.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Jonathan.
Yes, Maddie's Musings, all of these people, we love seeing you every week. Our usual viewers, thank you so much, or every other week when we do Slimy Sundays. And, you know, keep creating those interesting, satisfying videos. Jonathan, his slime videos are so unique and different, and keep creating that content, because that's what is a new form of content creation, just like Katie said. Yes, so we're going to move into our next topic, which is how to make creative slime, because we all know Katie is the queen of creative slime and creative slime videos. So what are some slimes that you make that are creative, or slimes that you used to make that were like when you sold your slime before this exciting opportunity? And let's talk about interesting slime videos, interesting slime, what we're seeing in the community that right now that's really creative, that are trends we think everybody should hop on and learn a little about.
Wow. Okay. So, you know, it's like put on this spot. I can't even remember the 150 slime ideas that I had actually come up with for my shop. But creative slimes, they're either based on usually a food or a concept. So I remember like one that I did was haunted house. I say did because like I'm not selling slime anymore, but you know, these concepts might come back in the iteration of what I'm doing now with this media company. But so like haunted house, for example, that was a slime that's like, what is a haunted house slime? You know, it was supposed to embody the experience of a haunted house. So it was like scented like a haunted house, which people go, well, what's that smell like? You know, it was like, it kind of like looked spooky, like webs of white mixed in with black. And, you know, it was just like, this is like turning a concept into something you can hold, like something very abstract, like an experience or a memory or just some sort of like novel thing, into literally something you can have as a sense in your hands, and it like you can smell it, you can feel it, you can look at it. So coming up with that, kind of like approaching my slimes with that idea, I came up with like haunted house, carnival. Then I had more like literal creations like hotel towel, which felt like a fluffy towel. I used really soft clay and fake snow, and it smelled like laundry detergent. And when you like pulled it apart, it got like fuzzy looking, like a towel. Like I just like, it was just like such a little novel thing. And then it turned into something that people really loved.
Yeah, someone in the chat says that Moon Cotton really stands out because her slimes are recognized as gourmet and so professional. Like, that is so amazing. Yes, and we can't wait for this new slime venture you're going into. I can't wait to get my hands on that slime, because my first slime that I ever purchased, guys, was from Katie. She was the first slime shop I ever purchased from. Like, her slimes intrigued me so much that I had to have them, and no other way that any other slime shop had intrigued me before. So she is she's so creative, guys, and these are some great tips that you're only getting here. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Of course. Yes. So let's talk about, where do you find that inspiration for those that towel slime and that the haunted house slime? I remember I bought that slime and your Cash Money slime. Like, those are so unique and creative. And how did you come up with those ideas and brainstorm them? Because it's so hard nowadays, I feel like, to come up with a unique slime, because there's just so many out there. So how did you go about that?
So there actually is a method, and if you're listening in and you want to know how to make like your like iconic slime that everybody will know you for, there is a method, and I'm going to tell you what I've done. There's basically like like I kind of just said before, there's 3 kinds of slimes, ones that are based on something edible and ones that are based on like a memory or concept, and one that, or a place, and then one that's based on like an object. So a few ways that you can go about it is, 1, you can go to a store like White Barn or Yankee Candle, a candle shop. Look at what they're turning into candles, because if they're turning it into a candle, chances are people like it. And candles don't have to just be buttercream frosting or fresh picked apples. You know, sometimes it's called, you know, summer rain or beach. And if you go and you see that and you like really like it, it'll spark ideas. I used to walk around the like White Barn with my phone and taking pictures and writing down like the notes in a scent, and then it would just spark an idea. So White Barn had like a sriracha limited edition, like sriracha scented candle. They don't have it anymore, but that like sparked an idea in my head where I was like, sriracha, spicy foods. I could do this, I could do that. You know, like it will, the ideas will come. So that is one thing. The other thing is to look on scent websites. So most people do scent their slimes. So if you're somebody that, you know, you add scents to your slime, whether you're a slime shop or you're just like a small, like, you know, individual slimer, look on scent websites, especially, well, I don't like, I normally wouldn't give away all my like trade secrets, but I will. This is pretty well known now, saveonscents.com. They have a huge selection of fragrances. And if you just look there and see what type of scents are for sale, it will give you ideas, whether it's something strange like, you know, like magazine, like magic marker. Mm-hmm. So they have a scent for magic marker. So then you think to yourself like, okay, well, maybe nobody wants to smell magic markers, but maybe I could do a set that's like, you know, the scented markers. You remember those scented markers? Like, oh, maybe you can do like a mini set with each color and they're scented like all the different scents of the markers. It's just like I just came up with that idea on the spot. So like that's like another way that you can do it. And then like my final suggestion is think about your favorite places and things to do. Maybe your favorite thing to do is you play softball. Well, what is it that like excites you about playing softball, for instance? Is it like the smell of the fresh grass and like what happens in that moment, in that experience? Is it the summer air? Is it like the people, you know, in the dugout chewing gum and like you're laughing with your friends? Like, how do you embody that into something that you can feel? Think about it like in forms of sets. You could do a set that's like fresh grass and a set that's, you know, baseball mitt and it smells like leather, you know, like that. Or you could do a slime that looks like a baseball and you can like make the clay, the red stitching on the baseball. Like, look, like that's an idea. It might sound weird, but people really think it's cool. You could just make it a video. You can take clay and then mush it all together. So that's how you come up with creative ideas in a nutshell.
I want everybody right now to think of an experience that you love and turn it into a slime and comment it in the chat. Let's get some ideas, some creative ideas in here just for fun, just to see what we can come up with right now. Katie came up with that awesome highlighter and marker idea. That's so cool. And she just comes up with things like this on the spot, guys. I wish I had Katie's creative mind. Oh my goodness. And someone asked, Elaine asked if this video will be saved, and yes, it will be. All of these Slimy Sundays are on a playlist on my page if you want to catch up if you missed any, so make sure you check that out. And yes, we heard your spacesuit one, Katie. I remember you had like a space related slime.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. I had a slime that was scented like space. According to an astronaut, I don't remember which astronaut it was.
I think was it Chris Hadfield, I think, or something like that. He mentioned, I feel like, never mind, but yes, continue.
You might be, yes, you might be right. I don't remember who it was, but it was an astronaut that said that space has a smell, like when after they go on a spacewalk, they can smell it. I don't know. It smells like charred meat and metal. Well, Save on Scents actually turned that into a scent oil. I got a sample of it and I was like, okay, I'm making a space slime, like done and done. I'll put star glitter in it and I'll make it metallic, like cool, it's a slime.
Yeah, I see some ideas coming up in the chat here from Elaine. Back to her tennis playing days, a fresh tennis ball scent or a sports drink scent and bananas. MK Slimes Caitlin said fresh parchment, and like she likes doing art, so fresh parchment, that'd be a super unique slime. And
there's a scent for that.
there is a scent, yes.
Yeah.
And Deb said that she made a slime called Rite Aid ice cream, and it's a really, really vibrant one. So you know, those specific things that, you know, maybe you had that ice cream in your childhood and that sparks that memory for you. It's things like that. Clam catching at Pismo Beach in California from Slimeopolis. You know, all of these little memories you have can make such unique slimes that nobody else, it's not like you're copying anyone else or anything like that, because it's your own memory. Like nobody else can recreate that, really. So yeah, those were such great tips that Katie shared about making creative slimes. I don't think I have anything to add to that. That was like perfect. Another one that ties into this with these scents, we got a lot of questions about, Katie, how you find and pick and create, because I know you do scented blends and different things like that. How do you do that for slime? And we got a really specific question on savory slimes specifically, because they say that there is a lot of, they're having a hard time finding good savory scents that don't smell gross.
Yes. Oh. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. A lot of savory scents smell gross, and scent is like a learned art. You know, there's people that for a living, they design perfume or they make candles, like for, you know, like a big company like Yankee Candles. So don't have like super high expectations of yourself when it comes to like designing scents, because it actually just takes a long time to learn scents and to like learn your nose. So I've probably bought 600 different scent oils, and I've smelled so many of them. And it is an expensive kind of hobby to get into. No, seriously, but it is a lot of fun. And I actually taught myself how they're made. And when you understand how they're made and you understand like what it is that you're smelling or how smell works, you can like the next part of that is that you can figure out how to like recreate a scent by like taking notes of different scents and putting them together. So one example is my taro scent. There really is no taro scent, at least none that I found in like an American supplier. Apparently there is one over in Asia, but I couldn't figure out how to order it. So I literally bought a bag of taro and I smelled it and I was just like, okay, what are the smells? And I wrote down the words that like kind of struck me. Oh, it's a little sweet, but it kind of smells starchy like a potato. And then you look for scents that have those characteristics. So I found a Fritos scent, you know, Fritos chips. And I thought, well, chips and Fritos will probably have like a starchy smell. So let's order it. And then like you do this and you order a bunch and you just kind of put them together until it makes sense.
Yes, that I have never personally experimented with scents that much myself. I'm more into the texture side of things, but there you could go so deep into scents. There's so many different scents out there and so many different combinations. Like the possibilities are endless. And you know, Katie, yeah, Katie, you're the master of scents. You have tested out so many of them. So yeah, we got a question on Instagram. Clara asked, what am I supposed to do if I don't have any creative ideas? So Katie has said a lot of great tips for coming up with ideas based on experiences, food, and different things that you have in your life, or going to the candle stores and looking at scents like that. So those are great ways to come up with creative ideas. Anything else to add to that, Katie?
Probably just one tip I would give people. By the way, you don't have to just go to a candle store. You can go to a food store. You can go to a candy shop. You can go like any of these places, you will find slime ideas. But if I had to just give like a general tip for people is don't Don't tell yourself an idea is stupid before you've thought it through. So me 2 years ago, like the little thing I did before where I like broke down all the different slimes that like with the memory of playing softball. I probably would have stopped myself from saying that because I would have said, "Oh, Katie, don't say that. That's so stupid. Nobody cares." But if you do that to yourself because like you're embarrassed by your own weirdness or like the fact that like you thought of something that doesn't really make sense, then you're going to shut down the 1 in 10 ideas that's actually brilliant. So maybe, you know, you have to accept maybe like 9 out of 10 of your ideas that won't make any sense and you won't have a solution. There's no scent for it. There's no way to turn that into a slime, whatever. But if you just let everything come through and you don't feel bad about something not making sense, then eventually an idea will come through that will be amazing.
Oh, that is such a great tidbit of advice there. I totally agree with that. Don't be embarrassed by your ideas or anything like that. Just go for it and see what happens because you never know. Maybe you're going to make the next bread slime trend, you know? You never know. That was like such a random out of the blue trend that I don't even know how that even happened. But like, you know, you never really know. You can't really predict the next slime trend. So experiment and maybe you'll be the next one to create it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the third topic, which is all about pushing your creative limits and getting into that nitty-gritty stuff. So let's start off with the first question, which is how do you get out of a creative rut? So you're feeling like you don't have any creative slime ideas and you're just not inspired. How do you get inspired, Katie?
I have to say that buying slime from other people has totally gotten me out of creative ruts. It's kind of like when you go to, if you like to cook, and then you go to a restaurant and you taste something that somebody else cooked, it's always like, it's such a different experience. Holding something that somebody else made and somebody else put their ideas into has always inspired me. And I'm like, wait a second, this is so good. Why don't I just do this thing? And then like all the ideas come to me. So that's one thing. The other thing is also like removing yourself sometimes from all of the things that you think you need to be looking at and thinking about to get inspired, because you can be overwhelmed. Put down your phone, like put away like the mixing bowl and everything else, and just like go out into the world, like go watch a movie, go spend time with your friends and go do a thing, and stop like trying so hard, because when you try really hard, that seems to just actually like make it more challenging to like have good ideas. At least it's a personal experience, but it seems to ring true for a lot of people.
Definitely. Yes. And with the creative ruts, I definitely think that talking to your friends in the slime community and actually coming to things like Slimy Sundays and chatting with us and just talking to people and having that human connection can really re-inspire you. Like before I started doing Slimy Sundays, I was feeling really, really uninspired with slime. I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I was like, what can I do to get back into slime? And I remembered in the beginning that really amazing having that community around me with all of the comments and replying to them and chatting. And I just wanted to do that face to face and messaging, and just remember that human connection with slime as well, because it's not really something a lot of people think about, but we are a community, and just tap into that community and find your creativity there. That would be my tip, because that's what I did and it really worked well for me. A question I forgot from the other section we did was from Water Glass Slimes, and they asked, how do you name your slimes? You come up with the most creative slime names ever, so.
I actually, like, I don't know if my names are all that creative compared to like somebody like Brendan, who I know that you had as a guest a few episodes ago, because every name that she comes up with is like a pun or something like related to a movie. But I take like, so some of my names have been very literal, like fortune cookie or strawberry milkshake, and it works. It's okay. Every name has to be amazing, but again, you just like not like naming something and not worrying about whether people will get it, or like when you start thinking too hard about stuff like, oh, are people gonna get it? Are they gonna think it's creative? Are they gonna like it? Like, just go with it. And like, I'll take a big step back here and say, look at the name of my account, Moon Cotton. What is Moon Cotton? Moon Cotton. Cotton's a fabric or a plant, and the moon is the moon. Like, what did the two have to do with each other? They don't. They have nothing to do with each other. I just threw two words together. It was available. I was like, there you go. And you know what? Now, if you go on like Alibaba, like you're gonna buy stuff like wholesale like slime products from China, they literally use the words moon and cotton in some of the like cotton slime moon mud. What? Cotton slime moon mud? What was that? Moon cotton? I hear moon cotton in there. You can start a trend. You can start a concept just by like not censoring yourself. So that's my advice for naming. Just, if it sounds cool and it makes sense to you, or you like it, go with it. Don't worry about if it makes sense to other people. That's the best advice I can give you about naming slimes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely with naming slimes, I think you should just do a big brain dump, info dump, just like put everything you can think of to name the slime out there, and then try to find a good combination with all of the words you spitball. I think that's how I named most of my slimes, and not that mine were very creative, but I think that's a great way if you are struggling with coming up with a creative slime name, to just, you know, throw as many words as you can out there, and then find two that really fit well together for your slime, and then there you go. Yeah, so we have a question in the chat, and it's from Deb, and they asked, how do you deal with mapping out an original idea and you have it all ready to go, and then you see another creator has come out with it as well? So it's a tough one, because I would say if I hadn't posted anything about it, if I hadn't shared, like as soon as I have an original idea or idea that I think is like no one's ever done before, I immediately will post it on my story or mention it in a caption or something like that, so people know this is when I first had my idea. So I'm not copying anybody. Look, I have the, you know, it says right here, I thought of this idea then, so I'm making it now. Like, my execution process took a while, but I thought of it then, so I don't mean to copy anyone. So that's basically what I do. But what do you think about that, Katie?
Oh, this is a hard one. And I think it really depends on your comfort level. It's in standing up for yourself in the event that somebody wants to come in and accuse you. Look, I think I have been accused of copying people on literally every idea I've had at some point in the comments, in a DM. The truth is that eventually ideas will be replicated. There are tens of thousands, over 100,000 like slime creators out there right now. Like, people who have an Instagram account just for making slime. Chances are, if it's something that you can eat or something that like normal people do or experience or whatever, it might have been done, or somebody else might come up with it organically without ever interacting with you or what you've done, or you interacting with what they've done. So I would say, if you have a great idea and then you see that somebody else is doing it, assess the situation. If you just do it too, is it going to be like the type of thing where people are going to start accusing you? You can stand up for yourself and say, look, I came up with this idea organically on my own. Like, I didn't copy anybody. It's just a coincidence. If you have a history in the community of being like an original creator, most people will believe you, and they'll know you're telling the truth. If you are like actually concerned that it's going to hurt your reputation, or that you're going to have like people coming at you with pitchforks, like you're a copier, you copied and you didn't give credit, then you know you can say, I came up with this idea, and now this other person did it, and I'm gonna do it too. Like, I'm not trying to step on their toes. Or you can even talk to that person and say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm also doing this thing. I didn't want you to think I was copying you. And then sometimes that person will step in for you if people accuse you of copying. Most people are very reasonable, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's usually the one person that ruins it for everybody.
Yep, that's so true. I think that was a really great answer to that, and it is a tricky, it's a sticky situation. We'll say, yeah. So we'll move on to the next question, which is, how do you balance making creative, artistic slime videos with the allure of making more popular and not clickbaity, but just more popular, trendy slime videos that, you know, will get more views and that allure of views? How do you balance that? What do you think?
Well, a lot of this has to do with what you want out of your account and Instagram, and the way Instagram works. The way that Instagram works is all based on algorithms and momentum. So look at somebody like, let me think for a second. Let's look at somebody like Talissa. I might be saying her name wrong, Talissa. Talissa. So Talissa does what I consider to be videos that are a little more long form and artistic. She usually uses a full 30 to 60 seconds for her videos. You know, it's not like a thing getting popped in the first second and then it's done. And she has incredible engagement on her account. Every video gets 100, 200, 300, 500,000, a million views, 4 million views. So it's not, you don't have to do a clickbait style video to do well on Instagram. But you should embrace whether you're doing product demonstrations. Are you demonstrating your product? I'm going to be honest with you. Most slime videos that are product demonstrations, they're not satisfying. Satisfying is like when this thing happens, and it's usually a quarter second of a moment. A thing pops, a thing plops, it does a thing. You can't make a 60-second video that is all that moment. So you should just kind of like embrace that some videos will be more like a demonstration of your product, or a demonstration of an idea, or a process where you're adding stuff and then you're adding glitter and you're adding color, like Snoop Slimes. She also has high engagement because she does a process. So if you, to kind of sum it up into one sentence, don't worry about making every video satisfying. If you worry about making each video satisfying, you're just going to end up with a page full of 5-second videos that have really like no substance. They're just moments.
Exactly. Yes. And I try and balance, I make such a high volume of videos. Like, I post a lot of just more product slimes that are just like a review of, or I just play with someone else's slime and I do those, and those don't tend to get as many views, but I enjoy playing with other people's slimes and posting them. So I do that. But then I also do more creative slime videos. But I will say it's difficult. Like, you know, Talissa Tossel, for example, she has her YouTube channel, so she gets an income from that. But me, I have to buy all the ingredients, and I spend my own money on it. And it can be difficult to make those more intricate slimes. So you just have to find a balance, especially if you're a newer slimer. It can be really hard to make the more artistic, intricate videos. So you can do a mix of different things and just, you know, try to find what works for you, is what I would say. Yeah. And the next one is, what goes into maintaining a creative slime shop? Because I know, Katie, you had your shop for a long while and you had some bumps in the road and different things. So how did you get through that? And how has it been? How was it when you had your slime shop?
I think it's important to say that if I think about the question, how do you maintain a creative slime shop? There's really two questions there. How do you keep your slime shop like creative, and how do you like maintain a slime shop? As far as keeping it creative, just keep innovating new products. Like, think about everything that we've talked about previously, and you're good. just try to be original and have fun. If you're not having fun, people sense it and nobody wants to buy your stuff. That's just like, it was just a little aside there. There are people in the community who are not having fun with this, but they feel obligated for whatever reason to, or because they are obligated, like it's become their source of income to run their shop, and then, but they're not having fun with it because they're frustrated creatively or financially or whatever it is, and that actually just drives people away, because it's just like, I would just recommend always making sure that you're having fun first and foremost. Secondly, as far as running a slime shop, I mean, it's hard. You're running a business, and my number one piece of advice is to take yourself as seriously as possible. Do not let anybody say to you, oh, it's just a slime shop. Oh, you're just selling crafts on Etsy. Treat it like a real business. You're going to have to pay taxes. You're going to have to answer to unhappy customers if somebody's kids stole their credit card and now the bank is charging back. You're going to have to deal eventually, if you want to grow, with buying things wholesale. With, you know, doing all of these things means that you have to actually like kind of do everything right from the beginning. My biggest mistake that I made was that I never took myself seriously. So I had to go back and reinvent my whole business like 3 times because I realized I didn't set myself up to grow. And finally, having good customer service. Just like, really, your customers are the reason that you're in business. Don't let them down. Don't make promises you can't keep. I had multiple times running my business where I did not ship things in the speed that I promised or I said I anticipated doing, because like life happened, and like making slime is a very long, labor-intensive process. And that happened to me a few times, and each time I just was like, this is a mistake that, like, I learned something from it, and the thing that caused it never happened again. But making sure that you like figure out what your weak points are and fixing them is super, super vital.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely agree that customer service is so important in building your loyal customer base, right? Because like, that's what you need, people to trust your brand and to trust, like, if they love your slime, they you have to build that trust with them. And I think that's really important with maintaining a shop and maintaining an account as well. You know, that trust with your followers is really, really important. So I definitely agree with that. And that kind of answers our next question as well, which was how do you gain loyal slime purchasers? And I think you do that by having a mainly good customer service. You interact with people on social media, and you just genuinely you. And I think that's my main thing with how you would gain loyal slime purchasers.
Oh, and have a good product.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That is the base. Like, you need a good product. Like, with that alone, you can do so much. So the very, very interesting question that I'm excited to hear your answer is, how have you adapted with the ever-changing Instagram algorithm?
So I haven't adapted. I have not posted, but I can tell you, as somebody who's now working for a media company, working in like kind of getting the inside like look into, you know, apps like Instagram and platforms like YouTube and even, you know, Facebook, who owns Instagram. You always have to think on your feet, think on your toes, stay on your toes, think on your feet. There's a saying there. I don't remember what it is, but you have to always be aware that whatever you're doing today is probably not going to work tomorrow. Not literally, but figuratively. You have to change constantly with what people want. So right now, Instagram is like all for consuming content within communities. The makeup community, the photography community, the slime community, the, you know, funny meme community. And it's like making an account that is so focused and so in one community is like, the algorithm is built for that. And then the algorithm is built for people who are active. Make sure people are having conversations in your comments, because Instagram will look at a post and they'll say, this post is making people talk. Let's show it to more people, because Instagram want people to be on the app. And the way you keep people on the app is they interact with other people. Okay, so create community in your comments, create community on your account, in your stories, and the algorithms will lift you up.
Definitely, I totally agree with that. I try and boost my engagement by doing things like Q&As on my story, and make sure you use those question polls and those sliding things and the poll function, and use all of those different things that are at your fingertips to really help engagement on your story. And then in your feed, post as consistently and as often as you can. And that's probably my main tip. It's really hard to sometimes work with the algorithm, so you just sometimes have to stay in your lane and keep doing your thing and just stay consistent and genuine. And that's my biggest tip, is probably what I would say.
And be patient. It will eventually work. It just takes time sometimes.
Yes, definitely agree with that. And so a follower question from Slime by My, I think it is. And they asked on Instagram, what's the hardest part about making a creative slime account in general? For me, I would say consistency. It's really, really hard to maintain a consistent feed of really interesting, intriguing slimes. So that's why sometimes I will have really intricate slimes, and I try to intermingle that with more relaxed slime videos, I would say. One where I'm just playing with a slime that I purchased versus one where I'm making a cloud slime or something like that, which is more intricate and takes more time to film and show you guys the full process. So that's probably the hardest part for me, is making that, like making consistent content that is creative. Yeah. What about you, Katie?
I think it's innovation. You always seem to have to like reinvent yourself and top your last great video. So that's what's probably the most challenging part. If you have an account over the course of a year, you need to be better than you were in the beginning. You need to be consistent and do everything else, but you also need to like show growth, and having that growth can be hard sometimes.
Definitely, definitely. That innovation to keep on topping what you did before is really hard. And something that I would say is, if you find something that works, like you find an interesting creative video that is unique to you, or as unique as you can get it, like do a bunch of them. And it might be a little bit repetitive, but I would just do as many as you can, and then move on to another thing. Like, for example, like Dr. J's Slime Shop, he does a lot of those little ball slime videos, and he makes a bunch of them, and people really love them. And so if you find something that your audience really resonates with, keep on doing them. That's what I would say. Yeah. And from @CanSlimes on Instagram asked, does your creativity reflect who you are? And I thought this was a really interesting discussion question to have. So for me, I think my creativity definitely reflects who I am, because it's me. And I think, like, I am not creative in the sense that I can't make amazing art like Katie does, but I'm creative and crafty in my like little DIYs that I do in my slimes, and I think that shows. So what do you think, Katie?
I think that creativity is just a trait, and I think that everybody is creative. It's just, have you tapped into how to take your creative ideas and like actually like recognize them and then turn them into something. So creativity is just a trait, and I think that doesn't define who you are. Maybe the ideas themselves do define who you are. They define your experiences, the things that you like, the things that are important to you. Not creativity, but the actual like content of your thoughts.
Definitely, definitely. And one quick question before I jump into the Slimer shout out. It's someone has a question on how do people make scented clear slimes? And my answer to that would be you have to experiment with scents and see which ones are the clearest in your clear slime. Like, there's no easy answer for me where I can say just go on the website and there's a section where it's clear slime scents, you really have to experiment and try it out. It would be really nice if there was, like, somebody please make that. But I know there's an account, I think, at Lazy Slimes, and she sells scents for clear slime, I believe, or something like that. So you could check out things like that. Or honestly, I would just say experiment, test, and test. What about you, Katie? Do you have a quicker, a simpler answer?
It's definitely not my area of expertise. Anything with clear slime is not. From what I know, with clear slime, you actually don't need as much scent oil as you do with white glue slime. Not really sure why. The scent just seems to spread further. So I would use less scent oil. And yeah, some scent oils do have changed colors. You can look on the scent websites, and they usually will say whether or not it will change the color of wax for candle making. I have a feeling that there is a relationship between the oils that will change the color of wax and soap will also change the color of slime over time. I've actually seen white slime turn brown from scent oils that have a lot of vanilla in them. So there might be a relationship there, but I believe Lazy Slime has, the account that you said earlier, does have some sort of method or science that is way beyond me. I don't really know it all, but there is a way to do it.
Yes. So I will jump into the Slimer shout out. I want to give a big shout out to Borax Buddy Slimes. They are a mother-daughter duo, and they spread such kindness in the community, and they come up with really, really amazing and creative slimes. I reviewed their slimes a while back on my Instagram, and I am obsessed with their pot pie slime. That was so unique and so creative, and it was one of the first savory slimes that really grew to be really popular in the community. And I love their AirPod slime. They hopped on trends, and they just keep up with the community. And they make so many amazing slimes, so many different textures. I love their cloud slime. I love their buttercream slime, I think they call it. And they just have so many awesome slimes. I'll stop gushing about Lauren and Sharon now. So just make sure you go check out their account. It's at Borax Buddies Slimes. Yeah. So don't forget to join us for the next Slimy Sundays. Keep an eye out on my Instagram and Erin's Instagram for when the next episode will be. It'll be on her channel. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you found some insight and creative inspiration from this, and share it with your friends as well so they can hear all of Katie's secret tips and tricks. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.